algebra 1. Do you remember this silly thing? They gave us 5, 7 and -2, 9, and they say get it as y equals mx plus b. You remember this? You remember this funny stuff? And they gave you this whole routine of how to remember. You're like, label it x1, y1, x2, y2. Find the slope, y2 minus y1 equal over x2 minus x1. Plug into point slope. Remember that? Things are going to change. Because we got a good buddy in our wheelhouse called the Desmos crew. Okay? All right. So, love it if you tried this with me. See if you can get the same thing. Okay, so get Desmos up and going. Please. If you have a computer, if you want to do it on a computer, it's totally fine too. You ready to be somewhat influenced and then get mad at your Algebra 1 teacher? Saying, dude, why didn't we do it the way Stirrup did it? Because I'm the Rhinestone Cowboy and not everyone does it my way. All right. So my 2 points were 5, 7 and -2, 9. Agree?
Yeah.
Okay, 5, 7, 2, 9. So you're going to hit the plus button. You hit the plus button in that corner, and you want to find table. And you plug in 5 and 7 and -2, 9. Is that what it was?
Was it -2 or just 2?
Oh, I don't know. -2. All right. So notice something that's on our board. See it? Those are my 2 points. So in the world of geometry, exactly one line exists between two non-distinct points. All right? Desmos is going to find us the equation. So remember y equals mx plus b, yes? Mm-hmm. Well, notice my x and my y on my table are labeled as x1 and y1. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So you're going to take the titles of that. You're going to go down to the next line, and you're going to go hit y1. Okay? And the operating system for Desmos to find an equation is tilde. So it's that little Jim Dandy here. Make it easier to see. It's that little tilde. Okay? mx1, 1 plus b. And lo and behold, notice it does have an r squared value and r value. That's something that we talk about in statistics, so we're not going to really worry too much about that. But then you notice your m is -2.85714, and b is 8.4857. You guys aren't afraid of it's dark in that room, are you?
No, we do.
It's like, yeah, we walked right past you, Stirrup.
Sorry.
You here to...
Oh, wrong class, my bad. No, I had to walk through.
It's always open for you,
You
my
know
friend.
it. Yup.
It's good seeing you.
Yes, sir.
All right, so lo and behold, yes, we don't have the slope as a fraction, but so what? We don't have y as a fraction. So let's, would you try to do the same thing? Let's just give you another set of points. -3, 4, and say maybe, I don't know, 0, 8. Try and do that in the table on Desmos and try and get me the equation if you would. So -3, 4, 0, 8. So get into Desmos, hit the plus button. Under the plus button at the top left corner, you're going to go into table, and you're going to plug your points in as -3 and 4 for x1 and y1, and then 0 and 8. And tell me if you get the equation. No. Is that power strip on?
Is it working?
No, it's on. That's why my computer
Unless
didn't
it's
charge.
off.
It's off now? There it goes. I don't think it was working. Sweet. Thanks for doing that. So see if you can get that. And again, I'm just trying to get you to realize Desmos is a really valuable tool for you.
Y equals 4/3 x plus 8.
Really? Okay. Give it another moment or two so we can get there.
And when you're finding this equation, do you just like kind of put numbers in until it matches? Or this doesn't give me an exact.
Oh, did you actually do the math to get the...
No, I just like looked at the graph and just counted a little bit.
Oh, you said, okay. I got what you're saying. Yeah, so the graph, if I plug those values in, so I can keep this still down here, and I can just change my values. I can just say, oh, how about 3 and 4 and 0 and 8. So again,
How'd you put that equation down?
okay, so what you're going to do is you go down to the next line on Desmos, you go one below.
It's -3. Isn't it?
-3, sorry. Yep, -3. There we go. That'll work. So so once you have your table, you go down one line and you go Y1 and then use the tilde. I think the tilde on Desmos is, let's see, where's tilde? Under functions maybe? Or maybe it's under alpha. It might be under alpha. Oh, it's under alpha. Tilde will be down there.
Is it gonna be?
So in order to find tilde, it'll be under the alpha down there at the very bottom. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Kind of takes you back to Algebra 1 going, dude, if I had this, game on. Kind of cool, huh? Okay. I mean, kind of dorky, but also I'm just trying to get you all to kind of feel comfortable that you have a valuable tool called your phone, and if you choose to, you can actually utilize Desmos for an awful lot. Desmos does pretty much everything that I've seen Texas Instruments do with a heck of a lot more keystrokes, or a heck of a lot less keystrokes. Okay? Huh. All right. So let's kind of go away. Does anyone have any questions on how this table worked? And the nice thing about the table, I could plug in okay, so notice this type of function. So yeah, it kind of could say it looks like it could be a negative correlation, but could it also be a graph that goes up, then down, then up, then down?
Yeah.
So let's see. Change direction once. One. So it could be a 4th degree polynomial. So 4th degree polynomial. All right, so we can go y sub 1 tilde a x, I think this is the right way, ax to the 4th plus x sub 1, and plus b x sub 1 raised to the 3rd plus c x sub 1 raised to the second. And you're not going to be required to do this, but I'm just trying to show you how this is really valuable. Plus b x sub 1 plus e. Oh, we're 1 point off. We're 1 point off. Oh, I know why. Because we had 2 zeros. Let's see. We have -3, 4, 0, 8, 3, 2. Maybe if I plug a negative in here, see if this negative will work. No. Anyhow, because I made it up arbitrarily, notice it does give you an equation that it would be, you have an r squared value that's 0.20, which means the two-dimensional relationship between the points and the actual equation is about 21% accurate, because obviously that 0.8 is kind of goofing things up. But once you start realizing how the operating system of Desmos works, it, I feel, becomes a pretty good tool for you. All right, but let's get away from the table and not worry about that. All right. Next thing is you're gonna have to be graphing a few things. So let's say we had like y equals 10x divided by x minus 6. Okay. So this is just an equation. If you zoom out, you notice a couple things are taking place. So visually, this equation seems to have two different asymptotes that are existing. You have a vertical asymptote, meaning it'll come from the left, and as it approaches the right, it goes to a number, and when it comes from the asymptote, it goes to the left. It also has a horizontal asymptote. And so if you wanted to kind of hone in on this, because your screen is touch screen, it's going to let you do it, and then we can kind of start figuring out the asymptotes. So what number do you feel comfortable right now that would give us an asymptote, and why would an asymptote take place if you're just looking at this or the equation? What value do you think we can't allow x to equal to?
5.
5 would work because I'd get 50 over -1.
And you want so 6.
6, yeah. So if x is equal to 6, if x equals 6, that becomes a vertical asymptote. But then we have to ask ourselves, well, that's fine, but how am I going to find the horizontal asymptote? And this kind of takes you back to algebra 2. If you took the capstone, that was a wonderful test that I helped to write, and some of you might have actually done my review on Schoology. And you want to know what happened when I wrote the review on Schoology and I'm with the rest of the district people doing the test? Like, well, that's not fair that you have a review and we don't. Like, well, then write a review. Well, can you just send me your review? Sure. And then we go and listen to the other schools going, we just can't get our kids to pass our capstone. Oh, we can. So, just kind of goofy. But then you kind of look at this, and you look at my degree on top is to the first power. My degree on bottom is the bottom power, is 1 on the bottom. So the degree on top and the degree on bottom match. Does anyone remember the rules on horizontal asymptotes? If the degree on top is the same as degree on bottom, what do you use?
Make it like a ratio fraction.
Yeah, so it becomes 10 over 1. So in this case, we're going to go y equals 10 over 1. And sure enough, we have a vertical and a horizontal asymptote that are going to exist. Okay? You will probably have to copy that down somehow off your phone, so there might be some key points that you might want to have. Like, it's important to know that that 0, 0 is taking place. It's probably important that you understand that this point where they intersect is the asymptote, and then you have this line that comes down, So this would have a domain of negative infinity up to my green line. So negative infinity to 6, soft bracket or parenthesis, and then from 6 to infinity would allow you to continue on. Okay, and I don't know what this does. What does that do? Oh, I don't want that. I didn't know what the slide bar did. Now I know. All right, so that's just a little other information. Okay, so the last thing I want to show you on Desmos, and I'll tell you, we have a certain guest who I saw last night who said he would be here on Friday, and he said, "What's the real life thing?" I said, "What do you want to know?" He goes, "Show me how to be a millionaire." So I'm going to show you how to become a millionaire. Unfortunately, it's not. I can't show you how to become a millionaire tomorrow, but I can show you how to become a millionaire over time. Deal? All right. Let's say I had an equation. Let's say, let me write this out first. Let's say I had an equation, something that looked like this. I had 10 minus x squared is equal to the absolute value of x plus 3 minus 4. Okay? So what you're trying to solve here is you want to try and solve the two or more, or the one or more x values of where these would intersect. So I'm going to use Desmos as our tool. And I have to show you how to make absolute value work on Desmos. So the first thing that we have to realize on this situation is I'm going to plot y equals 10 minus x squared, and then I'm also going to plot y equals the absolute value of x plus 3 minus 4. And then we're looking to see where the x crossing would be. It's going to be a point, but we only want the x crossing, and I'm going to put an S in there because we could have x crossings. Okay? Absolute value basically is just a way of talking about distance away from a certain critical point. All right, so I'm going to plot y equals 10 minus x squared first. And notice it gives me a parabola. Seems okay so far? Then I'm going to do my other equation. And you have to know how to do absolute value. So you're going to go y equals, and you might be able to find an absolute value bracket or absolute value if you just type in ABS. So notice my A right now, and then my B. They're italicized. And then when I hit S, they go straight up and down. That means you know you're on absolute value. And you're going to go x plus 3, close parentheses, minus 4. Take your graph. And it appears my red and my black cross each other twice. So the two x values that we're concerned with, I'm concerned with negative 3.653 and 2.854. Those are my two solutions. Okay? So the key on this is realize when I type in ABS, that means absolute value. And then I have in parentheses, I'm not using the absolute value signs because ABS is taking place of that. That's the operator for Desmos. Okay? So some of these problems I'll give you tonight, you have to just list the domain. Some of them, I think there's 3 of them, they want you to show what the graph is. And let's let you all have some opportunity to get it done. If you missed the quiz yesterday, please come see me as soon as possible so you can make it up. Okay? It doesn't matter if your off period, my off period are different. You're welcome to come into my class. First and second period I have mostly seniors. So if you want to be amongst your greatnesses, come to first or second period if those are offs. If you come in third or fifth, it's Algebra 1. If you come in fourth, seventh, or eighth, I'm off, usually right next door. Unless I have a basketball game, then I have to kind of jet out during 8th period to start helping set the gyms up so we can have basketball games. Sound like a deal?
Yeah.
All right, so what I would like you to work on the rest of the period, you have the title at the top is called Graphing and TI Calculator. Please note, we're not using the TI Calculator, but I didn't retitle this to Desmos. Okay? So Desmos is going to be your best friend for this stuff. And let me know if you need any help.